I'd like to welcome everybody to Spirit's CFF, our composite fabrication facility. This is where we build our 787, and we build what's called the Section 41 fuselage. You can see it behind you. This is the forward fuselage. It's a very complex geometric shape. It's all composites, and this is where we build them. We build 12 per month right now, and we're about to go up to 14 per month. And that's really one of the reasons we're here today, is to talk about growth. And we're very excited to make this announcement about new jobs and new capital expenditure right here in Wichita. But before I get to that exciting news, what I'd like to do is introduce some very special guests that we have here in attendance. The list is long, so rather than applaud for each person, which would be very appropriate, I'd like to just ask you to hold your applause till the end. So first of all, it gives me great pleasure to introduce, representing the great state of Kansas, our Lieutenant Governor, Jeff Colyer. Jeff, thank you very much for joining us, Lieutenant Colyer, Lieutenant Governor. Also, we have our mayor, Wichita Mayor Jeff Longwell. Mayor Longwell. In addition, we have Sedgwick County Commissioner Chairman Dave Unruh. And finally, we have, in terms of speakers, the Greater Wichita Partnership President, Jeff Fleur. Jeff, and I would say that this group in particular has been absolutely instrumental. The amount of creativity and collaboration to work on a project of this magnitude could only happen with people who are so committed as all of these individuals are. And so we'll have a chance to hear from each of them in a moment. But we also have some other members of the City Council joining us today. We have Brian Fry, Pete Meitzner, James Clendiden, Jeff Bluebach, Levanta Williams, Janet Miller. Oh, back, yep, right. Thank you, yep. As well as City Manager Bob Layton. Okay. I'd also like to recognize other members of the County Commission: Jim Howell, Michael O'Donnell, David Dennis, and County Manager Mike Scholes. Okay. In addition, we are honored to welcome several members of the Kansas legislature today, and if I could ask each of the senators, representatives that are present to raise their hand, please. Quite a few. So thank you very much for coming and joining us. And then in addition, we have the Kansas Secretary of Commerce, Nick Jordan. There, yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. And representing Senator Pat Roberts is District Director Tamara Woods. Okay, welcome, Tamara. Yep, thank you. And representing Senator Jerry Moran, his District Director Mike Zemerzla. Glad you could be here, Mike. Thank you very much. The senators are very busy now with tax reform, so we appreciate you joining us. And representing our congressman for the 4th District, Ron Estes, is his District Director, Debbie Looper. Thank you very much for joining. We appreciate all of you being here. And also from Wichita State University, we're very pleased to have President John Bardo along with Dr. John Tomlin. And this is very important that we have the proximity to this kind of world-class education and training in Wichita. It makes us better as an industry, and I can tell you the research and development that they do at NIAR and at Wichita State in particular is just so important for our industry, for our company, and for all of our partners in the vicinity. So thank you very much for joining us. Then we have our leaders from our labor unions, SPIA, IAM, and IBEW. If I could see where. So Cornell, Tony, I saw you guys earlier, Matthew. Anyway, our union partners are so important to our success. They do tremendous work, and their quality, their expertise, their commitment to training and commitment to our success, and the partnership that we have from them has just been tremendous. So I'd like to thank all of you for your attendance today, and let's give all of our guests a round of applause. Okay, so we're very excited today to announce plans for a major expansion and growth here at our Wichita site. This is going to include over 1,000 jobs and a capital investment totaling $1 billion over the next 5 years. And this is something that we're very proud about. It reflects the growth of Spirit here in Wichita, and actually also the growth of the aviation industry in general. And so we are at a very unique time in the aviation industry. It's historically very cyclical. In the past, every 10 to 12 years, there was a major up and then a down. Today, we're in the 17th consecutive year of an up. Now, I'm not saying that the cycle is gone forever, but we have definitely reached a new phase. Today, air traffic is growing at about 7% per year. And that is the one statistic underlying the growth in the industry. Around the world, fewer than 10% of people have ever taken a flight. And in Asia, every year, 100 million people take their first flight. And so that is driving that growth in air traffic. And what that growth is doing is it's generating an incredible demand for aircraft. Over the next 20 years, Boeing and Airbus are both individually projecting about 40,000 new aircraft. Let me put that in perspective. Today, if you look at every airplane flying in the commercial fleets around the world, it totals about 26,000. And yet in the next 20 years, we're going to build 40,000 more. We've been building the 737 here in Wichita since 1966, for 50 years. We've built 9,723, 24 going out the door right now. But that gives you a sense. So in the next 20 years, we're going to build 40,000 aircraft. 25,000 of those will be narrow body, and since half of those are 737s, Boeing aircraft, that means another probably 12,500 aircraft. So we're not even halfway through the run yet. And that's really incredible. Each year, those aircraft, the 26,000 in service today, carry 3.8 billion passengers. Okay, and with the traffic growth, the traffic will double in the next 15 years, and then double again in the next 15 years after that. And the aviation industry globally is one of the biggest and most important industries. It employs 63 million people around the world. It generates $2.7 trillion with a T, economic activity. And as I said, it's just continuing to grow. And Spirit has grown. So today we have a backlog of $46 billion, which is almost 7 years of production, which is truly unique. In 2005, when we split off from Boeing, which was a major milestone obviously in our development, we had about 7,200 employees here in Wichita. And we were building 21 737s a month. Today, we have over 11,000 employees here in Wichita, and we're producing more than 47 737s a month. So we've more than doubled in terms of our production capacity. Not doubled the amount of people because they're getting more and productive every day. But that gives you a sense of the growth that we have been experiencing. And we're going to 52 aircraft next year, and after that to 57. So that amount of embedded growth is just continuing. And it means that we are literally bursting at the seams. We have a huge campus here in Wichita, and we've been on this site since 1928, but we are really out of room. And so as we think about the next phase of our development, we have to grow, means we have to build. Okay, because there's no room to put anything else in the existing facilities. And as we think about building and growing, we could really do that anywhere in the world. This is a global industry, and we have an obligation to be competitive on a global basis. We could do that anywhere in the world. And so as we started talking to Lieutenant Governor Colyer and Mayor Longwell and Chairman Unruh, we said, what can we do to create an attractive environment right here in Wichita to be the place of that growth? And we literally had bids from other countries, other states, significant amounts of value that they were willing to contribute to attract those jobs and that growth. But what we did in partnership here, and I give a lot of credit to Jeff Fleur and the Greater Wichita Partnership for the work they did to convene this group and basically hammer out a deal that was very creative in its scope, very comprehensive in terms of what it encompasses, and very attractive in terms of what it helps us to do at Spirit. And so what we've done is we've made the decision that all that growth that we're talking about, the 1,000 new jobs, the $1 billion of new capital investment over the next several years, is going to take place right here in Wichita. And we're very proud and happy about that. And as I said, this was it's very competitive out there for this type of investment, these type of jobs, and I'm very pleased to say that Kansas and Wichita and Sedgwick County have stepped up with a great package of opportunities in collaboration that will help us achieve all of our objectives. Now, this growth isn't necessarily tied to one specific program or business, but it's a combination of things. As I mentioned, we're going up in rate. The 737 is going up to 57 aircraft per month from 47 today. The 787 is going from 12 to 14. The 767 is going up from 2.5 to some higher number as the tanker comes on board and the freighter continues. In addition, we have won several defense packages here. We are a major supplier on the tanker, the KC-46. We are a major supplier on the new heavy lift helicopter for the Marines called the CH-53K. And we've also been named as one of 7 suppliers on the B-21 bomber, the new Raider, that is going to be a part of the fleet in the future. In addition to that, as we grow our commercial business and our defense business, we've said we want to increase our fabrication business. Today, we make over 38,000 different parts. In the future, we're going to sell those not only to ourselves and consume them internally, but we're going to sell them to third parties, to Boeing and to Airbus, to military customers. And as I mentioned, the defense business today is relatively small for us, about 5% of our revenue. But we said we want to create that into a $1 billion business over the next several years. In the future, it will be 10 to 15% and maybe even beyond as a percent of our revenue. So we're very excited about the opportunities that we have to grow here in Wichita. Now, I'm relatively new to Wichita. I've been here for about 1.5 years. My family has just moved here. My kids are in school. They're getting along fabulously, making a lot of new friends, getting involved in activities. It's very competitive here in sports in the grade schools and high schools, but they loved it. And our family, for better or worse, this is our 10th move. We hope it's the last. But I've lived all over the world, all over the country. I've been involved in many different communities, and I have to say that this community is special in a number of ways. The amount of cooperation that I see, I serve with Jeff and the mayor on the Greater Wichita Partnership Foundation, and that is a very unique group. Its ability to articulate the needs and the requirements of the community and to attract companies and new investment is really fabulous. And then the support that we've gotten from the state of Kansas has been truly, it's a great partnership. With the Lieutenant Governor and Governor Brownback as well, we've had a great partnership. Lieutenant Governor Colyer has been here several times. We've talked about, he listens to the needs of business, he acts, he's somebody who gets things done. We're looking forward to the partnership once you become governor in the not too distant future. And in addition, we've had great support from our congressional delegations, Senator Roberts, Senator Moran, Congressman Estes. We hear all the time from our defense primes how special that relationship is and how important it is as we try to attract new defense work. So Spirit's a global company today. We're diversified in commercial and defense. And we're going to continue to grow, and we're going to grow here in Wichita. This is our headquarters. It's our hub of operations. Literally, generations of people in Wichita have been workers here. We have many families which have had 3, even 4 generations of workers here, and now we'll have future generations here as well in increasing numbers. So we're proud to partner with the state, with the city, with the county, and to make sure that Wichita and the air capital of the world is home to Spirit for many years to come. Thank you very much. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce the Kansas Lieutenant Governor, Jeff Colyer, soon to be the 47th Governor of Kansas. Jeff has the distinction of being the longest serving Lieutenant Governor in the history of the state. He himself is an aviator as well as a practicing physician. He's been a great supporter of our industry, of our company. Please welcome Lieutenant Governor Colyer.
First of all, congratulations to the best aerospace workers in the world right here in Wichita. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, because of those great skills. And we want to thank Tom. I want to thank Mayor Longwell. I want to thank all of our legislators that are involved with this, and the great community of Wichita, because this is a very important day. And I also want to welcome, for the first time, we have several people around the world watching us on Facebook Live as we're announcing this today. So congratulations. Today's announcement is a culmination of a partnership between state and local government, local partners, and Spirit AeroSystems. Our partners have been working together on this incredible project for a long time, and I am really excited to see that it's coming true. We owe a great deal of thanks to Tom and your team, the legislative team, the legal team, and the management teams here that are helping us put this together. And this partnership has been just an incredible important thing for the state of Kansas. And so being a full partner with you, it is like Christmas. And that's why today, in the very spirit of Christmas, this is one of the most important announcements in Kansas in the last few years. This partnership between Spirit and Wichita and Kansas will result in a $1 billion capital investment in our state. It means 1,000 high-paying jobs, high-skilled jobs that are going to stick with Kansas here in the future. This is a very important day. You know, in this very competitive world, this is how we remain the air capital of the world, and thank you for doing this investment. You know, this has a huge impact on Wichita and the state of Kansas, as well as Spirit itself. We're going to gain 1,000 direct jobs, but there will be thousands more jobs that spin off as suppliers in homes and businesses across our state and in our region. And that's a very important part of our community. But most importantly, it means that our kids have a high-tech, high-value careers that they can have right here in Kansas. And that's what our future is about. You know, and Spirit has already been investing in our kids. They have internships for high school students. They're partnering with Wichita State. They're partnering with local community colleges. We are moving forward, and this is an opportunity for us to start moving forward together so we have better training, that we have more job opportunities and higher skill opportunities, and that's what this is about. You know, Kansas has the best workforce in the world, and you are seeing it right here at Spirit today. And I want to commend you on your excellence and dedication on producing a great airplane that I love flying in. So, as a state, we're going to remain strongly committed to the success of the Wichita Aerospace Cluster. And we're going to do a lot of unusual things over the next few years. We started off, we've had the NIAR project. We have applied university research and development. We have career and technical education. And we have lots of STEM jobs, and it's growing, and those are high value for our state. This is what Kansas is about. We are the heart of America. We are the center of the United States. So Tom, thank you. Thank you for you and your leadership team. Thank you for the greatest aerospace workers in the world, because Kansas is moving forward and our kids see a future in our state. Thank you very much.
And thank all of you for being here. This morning at 10:15, I officially nominated Tom Gentile as Times Person of the Year.
Yeah.
I'll let you in on a little secret. Wichita and Spirit is on the global stage, and we look pretty darn good. So Wichita, we're certainly committed to finding innovative ways to help our diverse employer mix grow and thrive in Wichita, and we're lucky to be teaming with all of you out here today. We're grateful for the visionary leadership that Team Spirit has, and we believe that Wichita is a great place to expand their organization and operations. I'd also like to thank the Greater Wichita Partnership for their diligent efforts in this project. It truly took a collaborative effort to make all of this come to fruition. It wasn't any one entity, not any one person, a true collaborative effort, and so thank you. Just as we worked with Spirit to utilize our effluent water to help their operations, we will continually work for ways to meet the needs of our businesses in every way that we're able to. As Lieutenant Colyer mentioned, this is more than 1,000 jobs. Historically, we've seen a 3-to-1 multiplier when we talk about jobs of this nature coming into our community. And we know that we can make that happen. Those 3-to-1 jobs is going to expand our housing market, our retail market, our restaurants, more quality of life opportunities. We will continue to find ways to attract and retain a talented workforce. And much like Mr. Gentile said, we know we've heard it from others that have called this community home and continue to invest in this community, whether it's Cargill or Spirit or Coke or a wide variety of folks that believe in Wichita because of the momentum and the direction that we're going in. So we're looking forward to continuing to show the rest of the country why Wichita is a great place to call home and a place that we can say we're truly open for business. We're going to need skilled engineers, manufacturers, communicators. There are boundless opportunities right here in Kansas and in Wichita. Our low cost of living, good schools, multitude of quality life make an opportunity for your family perfect. We appreciate Spirit recognizing the momentum that we have in Wichita and the surrounding community. We appreciate their acknowledgement that Wichita is a great place to grow a business. And it also came with partners like Keith Loyne and Dr. Bardot and John Tomlin, and those that know what it's going to take to fill those way more than 1,000 jobs. So I challenge all of you to discover what Spirit, Coke, Cargill, and many, many others are saying right now. Wichita is a great place to raise a family and a better place to grow a business. Thank you for believing in us.
Thank you, Tom. It's definitely my pleasure to be here today and participate in this announcement and in this celebration, along with my colleagues who are also here to enjoy this celebration. But we're here for a lot of reasons that have already been spoken of this morning. But I just want to point out the fact that Spirit AeroSystems is a great business partner in our community, and they employ thousands of our residents. They're also a great community partner in that their people and their company is so involved in nonprofit and other organizations that make our community great. And these partnerships and collaboration are key and essential for us moving ahead. And I think nowhere is it more important than in this project. Without the partnerships we've created between the county, the city, the state, and Spirit AeroSystems, opportunities like this would simply not be possible in our region. Now, Sedgwick County has showed its commitment to workforce in our area when we invested in the National Center for Aviation Training over a decade ago. And that investment is part of what has made us uniquely equipped in this region to help Spirit tackle the needs of a growing company. And so as elected officials, it's our role to discern how to best use the limited economic development resources we have at our disposal to benefit the community. And I am confident that this project is not only the best use of those resources, but it is the right decision for our community. So I want to congratulate Spirit AeroSystems, Tom Gentile, and his whole leadership team for working together to keep this investment in our community, to keep these jobs in our community, and make us prosperous. We look forward to seeing this project come to completion, and we look forward to a long and continued prosperous relationship. Thank you.
Well, Tom, we certainly want to thank you and your entire team truly for this amazing day, not only for our community, but our region and also our state. Your confidence in our community's ability, your commitment of 1,000 employees, additional $1 billion investment is something we will celebrate certainly for years to come. This project is especially important when you think about economic development. This announcement actually places us in a very distinctive class of cities across the country. A project consisting of this magnitude of employee growth and investment is considered a mega project. And I will tell you that in a given year, there are very few across the country that exist. When the jobs are coming from some of those in-demand, high-paying aerospace jobs, certainly that level of competition even increases in landing that opportunity. This project does demonstrate community leadership and collaboration. Lieutenant Governor Colyer, to you and your entire team, thank you for the state, including the Kansas Department of Commerce, for their leadership. The states are very competitive. You will see this when you go to NBAA, international air shows. States are very competitive for the announcements that we're making today. And we've seen that competition increase. So what you as the state are doing with the programs you have to offer are very critical to our continued success as we go forward. We also want to thank the leadership of the city. Mayor, thank you to you and your team. Chairman Unruh, to your team, for identifying innovative ways to secure this announcement for today, not only for today, but also for the years to come. This proposed innovative and creative approach is shared investment and has a long-term growth commitment from the state's largest private employer. Tom, we are very fortunate to have Spirit in our community and state, both as an industry and as a community leader. We are very proud to stand with you today, and we are so excited to be part of your growth. So thank you, sir, for this opportunity.
I think this question is going to be for maybe the city, county, and state. Can you offer some details on what kind of incentives are offered as part of this expansion?
I'll be happy to start. Okay. I'll be happy to start because I did want to make mention of that, and I kind of glossed over that in my prepared remarks. Because Spirit and their team was willing to look at a different way of investment, because this community said that it's more important to invest in different ways, they're allowing us to invest in infrastructure instead of handing Spirit cash. And we believe that our community can rally behind that. And so with the help of our partners at the county and the state, we're going to invest, I believe it's a total of about $17 million accumulative to build a new building that they'll be able to utilize for these new operations. They also allowed us to put in a long-term commitment of 20 years and some clawback features in there, but we're investing in Spirit and they're investing in our community, and we're doing it differently than just handing cash out.
From the state side, we have not signed our final agreement with them, but those the appropriate things will be disclosed. But we use classic things, peak, HPIP, and some classic things. But the most important part is the relationship and the partnership that we have. We're working with them in a lot of different ways. We want to make sure we have great workers that are here. That's number one. We got to do this job. And so we're committed on a lot of different levels to making this happen.
Hi, you touched a little bit. I was going to say, if you're out of capacity here, where are you building, and can you talk about what kind of equipment and what those capital investments will be?
Right.
Thanks.
So the site, actually, when I say that we're out of room, it's the existing buildings where we have basically filled them up. But on our campus, we still have some room, and there's actually other properties that are adjacent that could work as well. But we're planning to build on the north side of our campus, so north of here. And the type of buildings, there's multiple different type of activities that we're looking at: production and warehousing, assembly and machining. Those are the primary types of activities. We have a lot of investment projects on the drawing board, and so we're very eager to get started. The building will start in 2018. And the type of equipment that we will be bringing in will be for the rate growth, for the new machining centers, for the defense growth, and for warehousing. We're bringing in a lot of robotics, a lot of capital equipment for drilling and trimming, as well as composite fabrication. We're bringing in a lot of new machines for machining, 5-axis machining. Wichita is our base for the more complex type of machining for hard and soft metals, so the 5-axis machines will be here. In other parts of our business, we'll be putting the simpler machines, the 3- and 4-axis machines. But that's the type of equipment that we will be bringing in over the next several years to drive our growth.
Do you know how many square feet under roof or so you're going to be adding? And then also the $1 billion in investment, is that in addition to what was announced last year when you guys were approved for some IRBs? Is that new, or is that part of that ongoing?
Right. Well, the $1 billion is what we're going to be spending over the next 5 years. But back in 2016, as part of the industrial revenue bonds, we announced 600. So this will be 400 incremental to that. But it's going to all happen over the next 5 years. And frankly, the challenge we have is to keep it to the 250 per year. This year, we're going to be in excess of that, as it turns out. But that's something that will be coming over the next 5 years. Your second question was? Oh, square. So the square footage that we need is in the hundreds of thousands of square feet. So we haven't decided on the exact size of the building. That'll be part of the planning phases going forward. The other thing is we're looking at probably something that's going to be multi-use, so that it'll be able to house not only manufacturing and machining capability for commercial and military use, but also have some warehousing capability as well, because that's something as we grow that we are going to need more of.
I was wondering on this new, same question, along the lines of what we're investing here. For the new building, are the new jobs all going to be in that new building, and where primarily will the new jobs be focused on? Will they be in one area or different areas, or will they be spread out?
They'll be spread out. A lot of people will be in that new building, but we'll also put people in existing buildings because some of the rate increases will require more people. A lot of the jobs will be, and again, these investments aren't necessarily tied to one program. It's a variety of things. It's growth in our fabrication, growth in our defense, growth in our rate for the production that we do on existing aircraft. And the jobs will be at various levels. It'll include mechanics and a lot of union represented employees. In fact, the majority will be that. But there'll also be engineers and quality inspectors and other administrative staff as part of the hiring.
Yes, can you say whether the proposed tax cuts at all played into the decision to do this expansion here and now?
No, the tax cuts did not play a part in this decision. I mean, what really is driving this decision is what I mentioned. It's just the growth that the industry is experiencing, the traffic growth, which is driving demand for new aircraft, and then the orders, and then the production rates. And so as we think about our investment profile right now, now's the time to really grow and invest to take advantage of that. And so it's about increasing our capability to meet the production rates, and it's about expanding our fabrication business, and it's about transitioning from being primarily a commercial player to one that does commercial and defense. So those are really the reasons that are behind this investment decision. It had nothing to do with any of the recent changes in tax policy.
We've got time for we have time for just a couple more questions. Go ahead. Oh, he's bringing you a mic.
Thank you. This question is for Tom. Wanted to know what are the next steps moving forward? Obviously, this is December 2017. What can people see and feel both in the Wichita and Kansas community?
I think the most important milestone will be the groundbreaking ceremony. And I hope to be able to get some of my colleagues up here back for that. And that should be taking place in 2018. And we hope as early in the year as possible. Because, again, to build a new building and get the capital equipment is going to take at least 10 months. And so the faster we get started, the faster it can be online and producing. So that's our goal. So the next big milestone will be the groundbreaking. And then, of course, we'll have the ribbon cutting after that.
All right, Molly, last one.
Could I just have a follow-up? 2 questions. 1,000 jobs in 5 years plus, I'm assuming that's new and not retirements and that. So how many jobs, given the age of the workforce, are you expecting that you may have to hire over the next 5 years, and where will you find the employees? And then secondly, if I could just have a clarification on the $17 million investment, is that city only, or is that city, county, and state?
That's a combination of city and county. Okay. So that's it. So the jobs, to be honest, most of the jobs will be over the next couple of years. So we expect to have about 800 of those complete by the end of 18, and then the final 200 in 19. And those will be, as I said, a variety of different jobs. It is true that today, really, in many communities, it's harder and harder to recruit skilled employees and that can do this highly technical work that we do to produce aircraft for the global airlines. And so one of the things that we're going to depend on a lot are programs like internships, where we can bring people in, apprenticeships. We'll be working with our unions on those, and also relying heavily on the local colleges. Wichita State has been a tremendous partner friends in Newman as well, but also the WATC in terms of providing technical training. That's going to be now part of Wichita State. And so that will help us get the kind of trained employees that we need that can hit the ground running and immediately contribute. And so that's how we plan to bring those people on board, is to rely on the local educational community. That's why I said it's so important for us to be in a city and in a state which puts such a high emphasis on education.